As the golden hues of dawn filtered through the curtains, casting long shadows on the floor, Lila sat in silence. The small, cherished moments she had spent with her dog, Milo, played like a movie reel in her mind. Each wag of his tail, each wet-nosed nuzzle, each bark that used to fill the empty corners of her home. Today, the house felt unbearably quiet. Her phone buzzed, snapping her back to reality. A picture of her boyfriend, Mark, flashed on the screen, his smile wide as he posed with his coworkers by the serene lake. "Having a great time here. Hope you're having fun too, babe," the message read. Layla's heart sank. Fun was a foreign concept to her now, drowned under waves of grief. She glanced down at Milo, his eyes closing slowly as the vet administered the tranquilizer. "It's okay, buddy," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "You've been such a good boy." She held his paw, feeling the life ebb away, his presence becoming just a memory. As she sat there, her mind drifted to the moment she found Milo abandoned in the alleyway, shivering and scared. Mark had always joked about how she had a knack for finding strays and bringing them home. "You have the biggest heart, Lila," he had said. But now, her heart felt shattered, each piece cutting deeper with every beat. She stood up, wiping away her tears, and thanked the vet for their kindness. The drive back home was long, her thoughts a whirlpool of emotions. The house greeted her with emptiness. Milo's toys scattered around, his bed untouched. She couldn't bear to look at them. She opened her laptop and began to write. Writing had always been her solace, her escape. This time, it was different. She wasn't writing to escape, she was writing to confront her pain. The words flowed, each sentence a catharsis, a way to process the grief and anger she felt. When Mark returned, he would find an empty house. The person who had laughed with him, shared dreams and fears, would be gone. Not physically, but emotionally. Her heart had built walls, thick and impenetrable, protecting the fragments that remained. Her phone buzzed again. Another picture from Mark. She didn't respond. Instead, she closed her laptop, took a deep breath, and decided to take a step forward. Not away from the pain, but towards a new beginning. Goodbye, Milo. Goodbye, shadows. Of course. Let's delve deeper into the story and explore what happens next. As the golden hues of dawn filtered through the curtains, casting long shadows on the floor, Lila sat in silence. The small, cherished moments she had spent with her dog, Milo, played like a movie reel in her mind. Each wag of his tail, each wet-nosed nuzzle, each bark that used to fill the empty corners of her home. Today, the house felt unbearably quiet. Her phone buzzed, snapping her back to reality. A picture of her boyfriend, Mark, flashed on the screen, his smile wide as he posed with his coworkers by the serene lake. "Having a great time here. Hope you're having fun too, babe," the message read. Layla's heart sank. Fun was a foreign concept to her now, drowned under waves of grief. She glanced down at Milo, his eyes closing slowly as the vet administered the tranquilizer. "It's okay, buddy," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "You've been such a good boy." She held his paw, feeling the life ebb away, his presence becoming just a memory. As she sat there, her mind drifted to the moment she found Milo abandoned in the alleyway, shivering and scared. Mark had always joked about how she had a knack for finding strays and bringing them home. "You have the biggest heart, Lila," he had said. But now, her heart felt shattered, each piece cutting deeper with every beat. She stood up, wiping away her tears, and thanked the vet for their kindness. The drive back home was long, her thoughts a whirlpool of emotions. The house greeted her with emptiness. Milo's toys scattered around, his bed untouched. She couldn't bear to look at them. She opened her laptop and began to write. Writing had always been her solace, her escape. This time, it was different. She wasn't writing to escape, she was writing to confront her pain. The words flowed, each sentence a catharsis, a way to process the grief and anger she felt. When Mark returned, he would find an empty house. The person who had laughed with him, shared dreams and fears, would be gone. Not physically, but emotionally. Her heart had built walls, thick and impenetrable, protecting the fragments that remained. Her phone buzzed again. Another picture from Mark. She didn't respond. Instead, she closed her laptop, took a deep breath, and decided to take a step forward. Not away from the pain, but towards a new beginning. Days turned into weeks, and the void Milo left behind was ever present. Lila busied herself with work, trying to drown out the silence that echoed in her home. She avoided Mark's calls and messages, finding it easier to cope with her grief in isolation. Friends noticed her absence, but she always had an excuse ready. She needed time, space, and most of all, she needed to find herself again. One evening, while sorting through old photographs, Lila stumbled upon a picture of her and Milo taken a few years back. It was a candid shot, capturing a moment of pure joy and laughter. She smiled through her tears, remembering the happiness he brought into her life. It was then she realized that her pain, though immense, was a testament to the love and bond they shared. She couldn't erase the memories, but she could learn to cherish them. Determined to move forward, Lila decided to volunteer at the local animal shelter. It wasn't about replacing Milo, it was about honoring his memory by helping other animals in need. Her first visit to the shelter was overwhelming. The sight of so many hopeful eyes and wagging tails brought a mix of emotions, but she felt a renewed sense of purpose. As weeks passed, Lila found solace in the small acts of kindness she offered at the shelter. She met other volunteers who shared their own stories of loss and love, and slowly, she began to heal. Her heart, once guarded, started to open up again. One rainy afternoon, while tending to the animals, she received a text from Mark. "I'm coming over tonight. We need to talk." Her heart raced, a mix of fear and anticipation. She had been avoiding this confrontation, but she knew it was inevitable. She needed to tell him how she felt, how she had changed, and how their relationship needed to change too. That evening, as the rain pattered against the windows, Mark arrived. He looked different, more serious, perhaps realizing the gravity of the situation. They sat down, the silence between them heavy with unspoken words. "Layla, I'm so sorry," he began, his voice cracking. "I didn't know how much you were hurting. I should have been there for you." Layla nodded, her eyes filling with tears. "It's not just about that weekend, Mark. It's about us. I need more than just words. I need someone who will be there, truly be there." Mark reached out, taking her hand. "I want to be that person, Layla. I know I messed up, but I want to make it right. I want to be there for you, always." They talked for hours, sharing their fears, hopes, and dreams. It was a difficult conversation, filled with raw emotions, but it was also a step towards healing. By the end of the night, they both knew things wouldn't be the same, but they were willing to work on it, together. Months passed, and Lila and Mark worked hard to rebuild their relationship. It wasn't easy, and there were moments of doubt and frustration, but they were committed to each other. The love they shared was stronger, more resilient, forged through pain and understanding. Lila continued her work at the animal shelter, finding joy in the small victories and the connections she made. One day, while playing with a litter of puppies, a small, timid pup caught her eye. He reminded her so much of Milo, with his soulful eyes and gentle nature. She knew in her heart that she had found a new companion. She named him Shadow, a tribute to the shadows of the past that had shaped her into the person she was now. Shadow brought new light into her life, and with him, she felt a sense of completeness. She didn't forget Milo. He would always hold a special place in her heart. But she had learned to embrace the present, cherishing the love and memories that shaped her journey. Lila and Mark's relationship grew stronger, built on trust, communication, and mutual respect. They learned to cherish the little moments, the quiet evenings together, the laughter and tears that made up the tapestry of their lives. As they sat on the porch one evening, watching the sunset, Lila looked at Mark and smiled. "We've come a long way," she said softly, her heart filled with gratitude. Mark nodded, his eyes reflecting the warmth of the setting sun. "We have, and I'm grateful for every moment." With Shadow by their side, they embraced the future, knowing that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, with love and resilience. As the months went by, Lila and Shadow developed a special bond. Shadow had a unique way of sensing her emotions, always offering comfort when she needed it most. The emptiness that once consumed her home was gradually filled with the sound of playful barks and the gentle pitter-patter of paws on the floor. Lila and Mark's relationship grew stronger as they navigated life's ups and downs together. They made it a point to communicate openly, addressing their concerns and celebrating their successes. They discovered new hobbies, like hiking and cooking, finding joy in shared experiences. Shadow quickly became an integral part of their adventures, his presence a reminder of the love and resilience that had brought them together. One weekend, they decided to take a trip to the countryside, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The serene landscape, with its rolling hills and blooming wildflowers, provided the perfect backdrop for reflection and rejuvenation. As they strolled hand in hand, Shadow happily exploring the surroundings, Lila felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in a long time. That evening, as they sat by the campfire, Mark took Lila's hand and looked into her eyes. "I know we've been through a lot," he said softly, "but I'm grateful for every moment. You've taught me the true meaning of love and resilience." Layla smiled, her heart swelling with warmth. "And you've shown me the importance of being there for each other, no matter what." "We're stronger together." As the stars twinkled above them, they made a promise to continue supporting each other and to cherish the life they were building together. They knew there would be challenges ahead, but with Shadow by their side, they felt ready to face whatever came their way. Back in the city, Lila decided to pursue her passion for writing more seriously. With Mark's encouragement, she began working on a book that combined her love for animals and her journey of healing. She poured her heart into the pages, weaving a story that resonated with her own experiences and the lessons she had learned. The book quickly gained attention, and soon, Lila found herself on the path to becoming a published author. Her story touched the lives of many, offering hope and inspiration to those who had experienced loss and were seeking a way forward. She received letters and messages from readers who shared their own stories, creating a community of support and understanding. Mark continued to be her biggest cheerleader, celebrating every milestone with her. Their relationship flourished as they embraced the opportunities and challenges that came their way. They learned to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and resilience, always finding strength in each other. One day, as Lila and Mark sat in their cozy living room, Shadow curled up at their feet, they reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. "We've come a long way," Lila said, her voice filled with gratitude. Mark nodded, his eyes shining with love. "And we've got so much more ahead of us. I'm excited for our future, Lila." With their hearts full of hope and their bond stronger than ever, Lila, Mark, and Shadow embraced the new chapter of their lives, ready to face the world together. Lila's book, titled Embracing Shadows, became a heartfelt success. She was invited to speak at various events, sharing her journey of loss, love, and resilience with audiences who found solace in her words. Her story resonated with many, and she found herself surrounded by a community of people who had faced similar challenges and emerged stronger. As Lila's public presence grew, so did her connections. She met other authors, animal lovers, and individuals who had experienced profound loss. Among them was Grace, a fellow writer who had lost her beloved cat to illness. Grace and Lila quickly became close friends, bonding over their shared experiences and their passion for writing. Grace introduced Lila to a writing group that met regularly to discuss their work and offer support. The group became a source of inspiration and encouragement for Lila, pushing her to explore new creative avenues. She found herself delving into different genres, experimenting with poetry, and even dabbling in children's literature. One evening, as the writing group gathered in a cozy cafe, Lila shared a poem she had written about Shadow and Milo. The room fell silent as she read, the words weaving a tapestry of emotion that left everyone deeply moved. Grace reached out and squeezed Lila's hand, her eyes filled with understanding and support. Lila's life continued to evolve, each day bringing new opportunities and challenges. Mark, ever supportive, stood by her side through it all. They decided to adopt another dog from the shelter, a spirited little terrier named Luna. Luna brought an extra dose of joy and energy into their lives, her playful antics a constant source of laughter. With Shadow and Luna by their side, Lila and Mark embarked on a new adventure, renovating their home. They wanted to create a space that reflected their journey and their newfound sense of purpose. Together, they painted walls, refurbished furniture, and filled their home with memories and love. One morning, as the sun rose over their newly renovated home, Lila and Mark sat on the porch, sipping coffee and watching Shadow and Luna play in the yard. The scene was a far cry from the quiet, empty house Lila had once known. It was a testament to the strength and resilience they had built together. Mark turned to Lila, a smile playing on his lips. "We've come so far, Lila. I can't imagine my life without you and our furry friends." Lila leaned in, resting her head on his shoulder. "We've built something beautiful together, Mark. I'm grateful for every moment, every challenge, and every bit of love we've shared." As the sun bathed them in its warm glow, Lila felt a sense of peace and fulfillment she had never known before. Her journey, though marked by loss and pain, had led her to a place of profound love and connection. She knew there would be more challenges ahead, but she also knew she had the strength to face them, surrounded by those she loved. With the house renovation complete and the fresh start they had embraced, Lila and Mark found themselves more connected than ever. Shadow and Luna were a constant reminder of the joy that love and companionship could bring. Their little family felt complete, yet life had more in store for them. One sunny afternoon, while volunteering at the shelter, Lila encountered a young woman named Emily, who was looking to adopt a pet for the first time. Emily had recently moved to the city for a new job and was feeling a bit lonely. Lila helped her choose a shy, but affectionate cat named Whiskers. The gratitude and joy in Emily's eyes as she left with Whiskers filled Lila with a sense of fulfillment. Emily and Lila struck up a friendship, and they often met up to share stories of their pets and their new lives in the city. Emily's enthusiasm and fresh perspective brought a new energy to Lila's life, and Lila found herself mentoring Emily, guiding her through the ups and downs of pet ownership and city living. As the seasons changed, so did the dynamics of their friendships. Lila, Mark, Emily, Grace, and their growing circle of friends began organizing community events, such as pet adoption fairs, fundraisers for the shelter, and outdoor activities. These events not only strengthened their bonds, but also brought the community closer together. They created a support network where everyone could share their experiences, offer advice, and celebrate their successes. Despite the positive changes in their lives, challenges still arose. Mark faced a demanding project at work that required long hours and travel, leaving Lila to manage the home and their pets on her own. The strain on their relationship began to show, and they had to work hard to maintain their connection. Lila's writing career continued to flourish, but the pressure of deadlines and public appearances took its toll on her. She struggled with balancing her work, her commitments to the shelter, and her personal life. During this difficult period, her friends and Mark provided unwavering support, reminding her that it was okay to lean on others. One evening, as Lila was working on her next book, Shadow, and Luna curled up at her feet, she received a call from Mark. "Hey, Lila. I know things have been tough lately, but I want you to know that I'm here for you. Let's plan a weekend getaway, just the two of us, to reconnect and recharge." Lila smiled, grateful for his thoughtfulness. "That sounds perfect, Mark. We could use some time to ourselves." They planned a trip to a cozy cabin in the mountains, away from the distractions and pressures of their daily lives. The weekend was filled with quiet moments, long walks in the woods, and heartfelt conversations. It was a chance for them to reconnect and remember why they had chosen to walk this journey together. Returning from their trip, Lila and Mark felt rejuvenated and more committed to each other than ever. They decided to make some changes in their lives to ensure they could maintain a healthy balance. Mark adjusted his work schedule to prioritize their relationship, and Lila set boundaries to manage her writing and volunteer work more effectively. With a renewed sense of purpose, they continued to support each other and their community. Lila's next book, inspired by her experiences and the people she had met, was dedicated to the power of love and resilience. It was a story that celebrated the strength found in vulnerability and the beauty of human connections. The release of her book was met with overwhelming support and praise. Lila's readers found solace in her words, and many reached out to share their own stories of overcoming adversity. The sense of community and connection that Lila had fostered through her writing and volunteer work became a source of strength for her as well. As the years went by, Lila and Mark continued to build a life filled with love, laughter, and meaningful connections. Shadow and Luna grew older, their presence a comforting constant in their lives. The shelter thrived, thanks to the dedication of Lila, her friends, and the community they had built together. Lila and Mark decided to start a family, and soon they welcomed a baby girl named Hope. Hope brought a new dimension of joy and purpose to their lives. They embraced the challenges of parenthood with the same resilience and love that had guided them through their journey thus far. Lila continued to write, her stories evolving with her experiences. She found that motherhood added depth and richness to her work, and her readers appreciated the authenticity and honesty in her writing. One evening, as Lila, Mark, Shadow, Luna, and Hope sat together on the porch, watching the sunset, Lila reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. "We've come so far," she said softly, her heart full of gratitude. Mark nodded, his eyes filled with love. "And we'll continue to grow together, no matter what life brings." With their hearts intertwined and their spirits strong, Lila and Mark knew that the legacy of love they were building would carry them through whatever challenges lay ahead. They embraced the future with open arms, ready to face it together, surrounded by the love and connections that had shaped their journey. As hope grew, Lila and Mark discovered the joys and challenges of parenthood. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and the pitter-patter of tiny feet. Shadow and Luna, ever watchful and gentle, became Hope's loyal companions, and she adored them with all her heart. Lila and Mark wanted to ensure that Hope grew up in a nurturing environment, surrounded by love and support. They made it a point to involve her in their community activities and instill in her a sense of compassion and empathy. Hope accompanied Lila to the animal shelter, where she learned about caring for animals and the importance of giving back. The community events continued to flourish, and Lila and her friends decided to expand their efforts by establishing a non-profit organization. They called it Shadows of Hope, inspired by the journey they had all taken together. The organization aimed to support animal welfare, provide resources for pet owners, and create a network of support for those who had experienced loss. Running Shadows of Hope was a labor of love, but it came with its own set of challenges. Lila and her friends had to navigate fundraising, manage volunteers, and ensure that their programs made a meaningful impact. Despite the hurdles, they persevered, driven by their shared passion and commitment. The organization quickly gained traction, and soon they were able to open a small animal sanctuary. The sanctuary became a haven for abandoned and abused animals, providing them with a safe and loving environment. Lila's heart swelled with pride as she saw the lives they were changing, both animal and human. One day, while visiting the sanctuary, Lila noticed a young girl named Emma, who had recently lost her pet cat. Emma was shy and withdrawn, her grief evident in her eyes. Lila took Emma under her wing, sharing her own story of loss and healing. Through their conversations and time spent with the animals, Emma slowly began to open up and find comfort in the sanctuary. The success of Shadows of Hope brought new opportunities and partnerships. They collaborated with local schools to educate children about animal welfare and the importance of compassion. They also worked with other nonprofit organizations to provide resources and support for families in need. As the years passed, Lila and Mark's family continued to grow. They welcomed a baby boy named Noah, whose arrival brought even more joy and love into their lives. Shadow and Luna, now older and more mellow, embraced their roles as protectors and playmates for the children. Hope and Noah developed a deep bond with the animals at the sanctuary. They spent countless hours playing with the dogs, feeding the cats, and learning about the care and responsibility that came with having pets. Lila and Mark were proud of the compassionate and empathetic individuals their children were becoming. Lila's writing career continued to thrive, and she found herself drawn to writing children's books that celebrated the bond between humans and animals. Her stories resonated with young readers and their families, spreading the message of love, resilience, and compassion. One of her books, inspired by Shadow and Luna's journey, became a bestseller and was even adapted into an animated film. The film's success brought more attention to Shadows of Hope, allowing them to expand their efforts and reach even more people. As Lila and Mark looked back on their journey, they felt a profound sense of gratitude for the love and support that had carried them through life's challenges. They had built a life filled with purpose, surrounded by a community that had become an extended family. Lila often reflected on the day she had said goodbye to Milo and the pain that had once felt insurmountable. She realized that her journey of healing had led her to a place of profound love and connection. Milo's memory remained a guiding light, reminding her of the resilience and strength she had discovered within herself. On the anniversary of Milo's passing, Lila, Mark, Hope, and Noah visited his favorite park. They brought along Shadow and Luna, now accompanied by a new member of the family, a rescue dog named Rosie. Together, they planted a tree in Milo's honor, a symbol of growth, love, and the enduring bond they shared. As they stood by the tree, Lila felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that their journey was far from over, but she also knew that they were equipped to face whatever lay ahead. Surrounded by the love of her family and the community they had built, Lila felt ready to embrace the future with an open heart. With Shadows of Hope thriving and their family growing, Lila and Mark continued to nurture their relationship and support each other's dreams. They learned to navigate the challenges of work, family, and community with grace and resilience, always finding strength in their love for each other. Hope and Noah grew into compassionate and empathetic individuals, carrying forward the values their parents had instilled in them. They became involved in the work of Shadows of Hope, bringing fresh ideas and energy to the organization. Their dedication ensured that the legacy of love and compassion would continue for generations to come. Lila's writing continued to evolve, and she found herself exploring new genres and themes. Her work touched the lives of many, offering hope and inspiration to those who needed it most. She remained connected to her readers, often hosting workshops and events to share her experiences and support aspiring writers. As the years went by, Lila and Mark celebrated their milestones, both big and small. They cherished the quiet moments together, the laughter shared with friends, and the joy of watching their children grow. Their home was a place of love and warmth, a testament to the journey they had taken together. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Lila reflected on the path that had brought them to this point. "We've been through so much," she said softly, her heart full of gratitude. Mark nodded, his eyes filled with love. "And we've grown stronger with each step. I wouldn't trade any of it for the world." With Shadow and Luna resting by their feet, and Rosie curled up in Hope and Noah's laps, Lila and Mark knew that they were exactly where they were meant to be. Their journey had been marked by loss and pain, but it had also been filled with love, growth, and connection. They embraced the future with open hearts, ready to face whatever came their way, knowing that they had each other. As the years passed, Lila and Mark continued to nurture their family and their community. They watched with pride as Hope and Noah grew into compassionate, thoughtful individuals, each finding their own paths in life. Hope pursued a career in veterinary medicine, driven by her love for animals and inspired by the work her family had done with Shadows of Hope. Noah, on the other hand, discovered a passion for environmental science, dedicated to protecting the natural world and all its inhabitants. Lila's writing continued to touch the hearts of readers around the world. Her stories, filled with themes of love, resilience, and connection, became a source of comfort and inspiration for many. She often received letters from readers who shared how her words had helped them through their own difficult times. These letters reminded Lila of the profound impact her journey had made, and she cherished each one. As Shadow and Luna aged, Lila and Mark took extra care to ensure their golden years were filled with comfort and love. When it was time to say goodbye to them, Lila felt a deep sense of gratitude for the joy and companionship they had brought to their lives. Their memories lived on in the stories Lila wrote and the hearts of those who loved them. With the passing of Shadow and Luna, Lila and Mark decided to expand Shadows of Hope further, creating a sanctuary in their honor. The new sanctuary, named Shadow and Luna's Haven, provided a safe and loving environment for animals in need. It became a place of healing and hope, where animals and humans alike could find solace and connection. Hope and Noah played instrumental roles in the sanctuary's development. Hope's expertise as a veterinarian ensured the animals received the best care possible, while Noah's knowledge of environmental science helped create sustainable and eco-friendly practices. Their dedication to the sanctuary was a testament to the values their parents had instilled in them. Lila and Mark took a step back from the day-to-day operations, entrusting the future of Shadows of Hope and the sanctuary to their children. They were confident that the legacy of love and compassion they had built would continue to thrive under Hope and Noah's leadership. As Lila and Mark entered their later years, they found joy in the simple pleasures of life. They spent their days tending to their garden, taking long walks, and enjoying the company of friends and family. They often visited the sanctuary, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment as they witnessed the positive impact it had on the community. One evening, as they sat on the porch, watching the sunset, Lila and Mark reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. "We've been through so much," Lila said softly, her eyes filled with gratitude. "But we've also been blessed with so much love and support." Mark nodded, his hand gently squeezing hers. "And we've created something beautiful together. Our love, our family, our community, it's all a testament to the resilience and strength we've found in each other." Lila smiled, her heart swelling with pride and love. "I wouldn't change a thing, Mark. Every challenge, every loss, every joy, it's all shaped us into who we are today." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the landscape, Lila and Mark knew that their journey was far from over. They embraced the future with open hearts, ready to face whatever came their way, surrounded by the love and connections that had defined their lives years later, as Hope and Noah continued to carry forward the mission of Shadows of Hope. They often reflected on the lessons their parents had taught them. The sanctuary flourished under their care, becoming a beacon of hope for countless animals and people. Lila's books remained cherished treasures, her words continuing to inspire generations. Her legacy lived on through the stories she had written and the lives she had touched. One day, as Hope walked through the sanctuary, she came across a small tree with a plaque that read, "In memory of Milo, Shadow, and Luna, forever in our hearts." She smiled, feeling a deep sense of connection to her family's past and the love that had brought them to this point. As she stood there, she felt a gentle breeze, as if the spirits of Milo, Shadow, and Luna were watching over them. She knew that their legacy of love and compassion would continue to guide and inspire them for years to come, and so, the story of Lila, Mark, and their beloved companions came full circle, a journey of love, loss, resilience, and the enduring power of connection. Their legacy lived on in the hearts of those they had touched, a testament to the beauty of embracing life's shadows and finding light in the darkest of times.